One of the most terrifying parts of owning a business and having clients as a freelancer or someone that offers a service is getting fired. We don't want to get fired. We want to provide a great service. We want to help people. We want to do something that's meaningful and do it in a way that just works. So today's video, we're going to chat about the onboarding process that you can use as a freelancer to make sure that you and your client are on the same page to help prevent you from getting prematurely fired from the job and truly step into the role of importance in that person's business. So the client is likely to hire you long-term, not short-term. So my name is Sarah May Ives. I help women make the changes required to live what they feel like is an exceptional life. I also help men too, but mostly women are into my orbit because of my story as a single mom and how I got started. If you like this content, please subscribe, please share, please comment on this video, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell or share it with a friend or family member who could really use this advice too. Okay, let's dive right into the topic of today. Number one reason for having trouble clients in your freelancing business, whether or not you're an ads manager, a social media manager, a copywriter, there's all kinds of services that you can be performing in your business and you don't have clarity with the client about exactly what you're supposed to do. And this can sound kind of silly, but it is very true. All of this to say, communication needs to be open and transparent, and you need to understand what your client wants. The number one way to onboard your client is to send them a questionnaire. You're gonna say, thank you so much for signing on with me. I couldn't be more excited to help you and help your business to reach your business goals. Step number one, fill out this questionnaire. And the questionnaire can say a whole bunch of things, but essentially what it wants to be is name, email, phone number, and best preference for communication. What do they want to achieve? How specifically are they going to judge success? Meaning, what do you have to do to make them happy? And then on what timeline do you prefer? And you can ask them all kinds of questions like that to get very clear on their vision, what they want to achieve, and what they expect from you. So that's step number one, is to make sure that you have a very thorough onboarding questionnaire. Step number two, you're gonna make sure that you actually have an onboarding session. So this onboarding session is again gonna go over that questionnaire in detail. You're gonna ask them more questions, get them to explain it. You could even say like, I see that you've answered this on this question, tell me more. When you're talking to clients, tell me more, or specifically tell me, is very helpful to again get uber clear on what they want. Because when you know what they want, suddenly that means you can deliver. Or if you can't deliver, you're gonna figure out how. The next step is in that meeting, you're going to create a document that then summarizes what was talked about. You can use ChatGPT for this, for example, and then you're going to send it to them so you're both on the same page. I highly recommend doing a mini timeline as well. Again, you can ask ChatGPT, you can say roughly the client wants this, this, and this. Can you put together a timeline for me? And then you're going to keep that in this document. I recommend using Google Docs because then you can put it into a Google Doc and send your client the link. That number one onboarding session is going to be so important for getting clarity around what they specifically want. Here's another meeting that can be tremendously helpful, especially if you're an ads manager, social media manager, or in the online digital marketing realm of things. You're going to have a second meeting that's going to talk about exactly what they are currently doing for their social media advertising. You could even do a little audit of their accounts and ask them, would you be open to having a session with me so that we can review all these things? We've got our work cut out for us, and here's all the many things we're working on. We also want to make sure that you're helping us to help you by consistently posting to your Instagram account, for example. Okay, and then that way you're going to have a content session with them so that they know what to post. Now, if your client says to you, like, I really don't know what to post, I've got a very simple solution for that. You're simply going to say, well, when people find out that you do this, what are the 10 most common questions that they ask you? And that's essentially the content that they need to create. 10 posts that they recycle over and over. Very simple. So that second content session can be so important if you're working with businesses in that type of capacity, because again, you can get laser clear on what you need to do, and then you equip them with the ability to help you, essentially. So again, you're working together. The third step beyond that is then to make sure that you have frequent enough communication communication. Usually weekly is good on the long term, and then in the beginning phases it actually may be a bit more frequent. I do recommend that you resist doing rapid fire responses, because as soon as you get into the habit of doing a rapid fire response with a client, they expect that all the time. So that's where you want to be careful. If your client is more high maintenance and sending you like 5 emails in one day, I would recommend collecting all those questions, putting them into one end of day email. So again, you're approaching it in a measured way. First and foremost, a lot of times we feel guilty, right? Because like, oh, but they're writing me and they need a response. But if you send them rapid responses, you're probably going to get a rapid response back. And then boom, the ping pong ball is going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and nobody's thinking creatively or constructively. So the other advantage to slowing down your client communication is that you're going to be more thoughtful and meaningful, purposeful in your communication with them, because it gives you a chance to think about things. And I'm very guilty of this. How many times, like I have done, have you just done a rapid response? You send the email, you're like, oh dang, I shouldn't have said that. Now that I've had a chance to think about it, it should have been this. It feels kind of dumb to send another email and say, ignore what I just said to you. Slowing down the communication can help you to be more effective overall, and then that helps your client way more than you doing a rapid response that may or may not have been helpful. Now you might be wondering, well, how did I think of all this in the first place? Well, I became an ads manager because for one of my other businesses before, I hired an ads manager, and I wasn't like, it wasn't necessarily a bad service. The company was fine, but something that they missed was a thorough review of my assets in the beginning. You can hire an ads manager and they can just come in, create some ads, and then hit spend, right? And then the ad starts spending. Now, what this company missed, and this is why I created this process, is they missed looking at my website. They missed looking at my socials. They missed looking at all the obvious places to figure out if the ad was going to match the experience that people had on my web pages. And in many cases it didn't. And that's why those businesses are in the past and I'm not still doing them. So another thing that is a huge bonus is taking this time to do adequate onboarding sessions to make sure that all their assets are in the right place. And when I say assets, I mean social media pages, I mean websites, funnels, making sure everything looks good and that you've at least had an opportunity to review it. And as a freelancer, it also allows you to not only get better results for your clients, but it allows you to get paid well enough to really do a great job. So you can promote this consultation month in your pitching of your services so that they know that this first month we're going to meet at least 2 to 3 times, then we're going to launch your ads, and then we're going to tweak, monitor, optimize, and do all the things that we do. If you're a freelancer of any sort, you can absolutely implement parts or all of this process that I'm talking about, these onboarding sessions, this onboarding package, which you could easily charge around $2,500 for, is going to make your communication and ultimately your relationship with your clients so much better. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I am so grateful that you are here watching this video with me. I know in this very busy and very distracted world, your time is so precious, and I am so grateful that you spent it with me.